let you guess who the next speaker is. He's been a monk since the late 1970s. He's been supporting Neohumanism all over the globe. He's been supporting Gurukul all over the globe for over 30 years. Who do you think the secret guest is? Shambhushivananda. Sure.
Okay. So, as I mentioned yesterday, when Baba founded Gurukul, he had only 40 days, last 40 days of his life, to say whatever he wanted to say for Gurukul. For all the other movements, he spent his whole life establishing them, like RU, Renaissance Universal, Renaissance Artists and Writers Association, or Amur, Ananda Marga Universal Relief Team, and so on and so forth. But this was, he was in Woodland Nursing Home when we went, I was the secretarial secretary in Berlin sector, and we went to Romania. Ceausescu had died, so we met with the Minister of Education, and we signed an agreement with him that we will take over the entire education system and help with Neohumanist education. So it was just paperwork, and we, so when I brought it to the notice of Baba, to General Secretary, Baba said, "Oh, I have few things to say on education." And so he was still in the nursing home, but as soon as he came out, so starting with September 7th, 1990, he began to give dictations concerning Gurukul. So first thing he did was that he scrapped the Ananda Marga Board of Education and replaced it with this new body, which he called Ananda Marga Gurukul. And he gave the structure of the Gurukul is consisting of two bodies. The highest governing body would be called Chakra Dhuri. Chakra means wheel and Dhuri means the hub. So it is the controlling hub. And there were 9 members of this Chakra Dhuri. There were 4 administrative officers called like Kulapati, the Chancellor, Upkulpati, the Vice Chancellor, Mahasachiv, like the General Secretary or Secretary General, and Karana Sachiv, the Office Secretary. So these were the 4 administrative officers, and there were 5 academic advisors. And he gave the term for them Varga Pratinidhis. The Varga means like category, and Pratinidhi means representatives. So, but there were like 5 academic advisors. Now, these, the first one was to be responsible for proud RU Neohumanism and liaison with concerning subjects. That means he wanted to ensure that there was somebody in the Chakradhuri who would ensure that our education system retained its ideological content. And it was not just education for education's sake, but through that we are fulfilling the mission which he had started. Then the second one was responsible for humanities, third one for sciences, farming and other sciences, and another person was responsible for general supervision and liaison, and one person to the duty of which Baba gave to one Didi that time was responsible for fine arts, earning, occupation, and female socio-economic liberation. So the idea was that this would be a body which will supervise the entire education system of our movement from kindergarten, not even kindergarten, from people's night schools, day schools, PNS, PDS we call them, or Jagriti schools, or AMSI schools, to the university level. So it is not only one single university, it would be the custodian of many universities which might be established all over the globe. Like today, it is a new Humanist College of Asheville. Tomorrow, it would be a new humanist university, and it would still be under the hood. And there would be, of course, the global campus. Zuri, there was another body which he created called Academic Council. The name he gave was Mahasamiti, like a great congregation, collection of all the academicians. Means, and they would be people, representatives from all over the world. So some people in the field of philosophy or psychology or archaeology or anthropology or engineering or commerce or industry or and so on and so forth. They were, he listed about 30, 40 faculties, which he himself initiated, but that was just to set the ball in motion. They were not carved in stone that would be the final list of faculties, because the knowledge is always growing. There'll be new and new disciplines which will be cropping up, and the knowledge also is interdisciplinary. So there would be interaction among people from different faculties. But this Mahasamiti, it had each faculty would be represented by one person called Vidya Pratinidhi. And that Vidya Pratinidhi was responsible for ensuring that development takes place in that discipline. And then that Vidya Pratinidhi would be assisted by 5 people called Sahayak Parishad, like a support group, you can say, auxiliary. And the head of that support group will be called Upadhyay, which is called Dean. And there will be 4 other academically qualified in that discipline. They will be called Vidya Vivek. So they are like teachers. There's a sense of discrimination between right and wrong, good and bad, proper and improper. So anyway, he coined his own terms for creating this structure. And then he put the people, he chose the people who will be the Vidya Pratinidhis and Vidya Vivek, Upadhyay. And so it like if there are 6 people, 5 in the Sahayak Parishad and 1 Vidya Pratinidhi, so that's 6 persons for each faculty. So if you have 40 faculties, then you have 240 people. So they will meet regularly, and there will be conferences of those, academicians. But for each institution that he created at Anandnagar, there would also be a governing body. So they are not necessarily professors and academicians, but they are persons who are devoted and who are going to help to build up that institution. So there were 12 institutions that he gave in the first phase for Anandnagar, like the medical college or homeopathic college, Ayurveda college, naturopathy college, or Natak he called it, naturopathy, acupuncture, and Jhansi, which is the local folk medicine. And then there will be textile institute, fine arts college, music college, agriculture college, teachers training college, and so on and so forth. So there were, but each institution will have a governing body of at least 5 persons. And these 5 persons, 1 person will be responsible for establishment and legal and establishment, another one for office management, another one for public relations, another one for this technical advisor. So like he had designated the duties for these 5 people, and he selected people who were financially, well qualified, who had experience, who could help to build that institution. He brought people also who had technical understanding, So that structure was also created. But it was, I think what he was trying to do was just give like a skeleton structure for Gurukul, so that in the future, we could really put it into operation. But he said those people who will take the duty in Gurukul, they will not take duty in other departments. So they were exclusively designated for Gurukul. And they should be the best people that we can select who have supervisory capacity and qualifications, academic knowledge, so there were some criteria based on which, these people would be selected. Now, we have been the legal, we don't yet have university status in India. We registered under the Societies Registration Act, we created one legal body in India, Anand Gurukul, of which I am still the president, and we just we have tax exempt status, and we just, just to keep the ball rolling. And in year 2000, we established Ananda Marga Gurukul Inc. in Denver, care of Mahajyoti and Arun, and still registered in their home. And so that, and then we got our independent tax exempt status later on also, 501c3. And so we decided that we don't really want to own all the properties under this Ananda Gurukul, because that's where all the conflicts start. People want to have control and power and all these things. So let every institution have its own legal registration. And for example, when Vishwamitra donated 30 acres of land for this Gurukul college here, so we created this Neohumanist College of Asheville, and it is affiliated with Anand Marg Gurukul. It is an arm of Anand Marg Gurukul, but legally it is independent and it is registered independently. So then also the local people can participate and they can control the institution. And I think that brings maximum progress also at that institution. And we don't have staff to manage thousands of institutions all over the world anyway. So I think that was not very practical. So we have only a legal registration in Sweden, in the United States, and in India at the moment. We don't, Anand Marg Gurukul is not registered legally anywhere else. But
it's a camp concept, isn't it? Establishing the camp outside of the God.
Yeah, because the laws in India are such that you can't really run control institutions outside of India, and also they don't have the capability there. We did not have the capability at that time. So this was just like so we, in year close to, I think in late 1990s, Arati offered to me that she would like to help with publishing our newsletter. And so I was also the general secretary of Anand Marg Pracharak Sangh at that time. I was based in Calcutta. So I was also the Kulpati. So I had some clout, in the central committee also. So I got it approved that we will establish a legal registration here of Anand Marg Gurukul. And also we created a global liaison office, which is currently running from Scott and Arati's home. And they have contributed so much. I think we have no words to describe their sacrifice and contribution in building it up. So but the big hole, a big challenge for us has been how to involve people in Gurukul and how to bring it all together and how to, expand it further, scale it up. And, so we have informally been working with, as Vishwamitra described, with Singapore, with Italy, with Taiwan, people who are interested to collaborate with us, so it is just based off on mutual interest, and we are doing it. But structurally, we have not yet been able to fill this vacuum of how to really put the Gurukul operational. Because Anand Nagar, I'm building some infrastructure, but I don't have qualified people to really run and manage and do things. So here, we did not have infrastructure before. Now we have some infrastructure, and still we are hoping to, develop the things further. So, so we decided that at least we start with maybe a dozen faculties to start with. For example, the things which Baba had made a lot of contribution in, he gave a lot of literature, and that can become the basis of, further research and studies. So like the first faculty which we took up was education, because we were already running 1,000 schools all over the world, but they did not have a proper education system lined up. So we created this Neohumanist education faculty. And that has been working for the last 2-3 decades. And we have now a lot of literature, and I think we already know now what has been going on there, and more you will find out. Second was the yoga. So we also created the Global Association of Neohumanist Educators, GANE. So that is just a forum to bring people together, anybody who is interested in Neohumanism. Because it's a global association of Neo-Humanist educators. So it's not Humanist education per se from K to 12. It extends even beyond that. Means anybody, philosophy of Neo-Humanism is, it applies to, social sciences, it can apply to sciences, it can apply to any domain. So that was kind of one entry door into our Gurukul was Ghana. People sign up, they can sign their projects. And so we have a directory of all the schools or people who are interested in linking up with Gurukul. We do it through Ghana. They also make yearly contribution, $25 or $50 or whatever they can afford. And and we publish the newsletter, Gurukul Network. It is a biannual, twice a year, one in January and the other in the middle of the year. And that has been going on, distributed throughout the world. Now online is available all the time, means we can go on the gurukul.edu website, and there we have access to all the past issues. And it's like a chronology of all the things which has been going on in Gurukul. It is present there. Now, and then for the yoga and intuitional science is another dimension, another area where many of our workers, they give yoga teachers training and classes and things like that. And so under the leadership of, Mahajyoti, we have also created one forum called AMAI, Ananda Marga Association of Yoga Educators. It's like Yoga Alliance. They bring together people from all the different yogic paths, but this is specialized for Ananda Marga yoga educators. So we have had some workshops, we have had some seminars, webinars, and we are also hoping to publish some book. They also have a website, it is independently, but it is working under the auspices of Anand Marga. So it's like we have a Neohumanist education forum, NHE forum, and there are about 500, 600, 700 people who are members of that forum. So if people, interact and dialogue on any issue related to Neohumanist education, particularly K to 12. And similarly, this AMAI is a forum for yoga educators. But then there are, and Dada Premiananda in Singapore, he has taken on the responsibility as the Vidya Pratinidhi of this faculty. And but not much he's doing, but anyway, still. And then there are other like languages, Sanskrit, Bengali, English, or other languages. There's another faculties, because Baba, as you know, he wrote a lot of, books related to language, Varna Vigyan, Varna Vichitra, Shabd Chainika. So that research needs to be done. So it is all this line buried, in the books. So we need scholars to come forth. I'm hoping that someday when Shravan has more time, that he can really provide leadership, in these areas, because that's what he has expertise in and passion with. So I hope he will fill that vacuum. Then the field of history, philosophy, psychology, and wellness and health sciences, or crowd studies, microvita research, microvita studies, and so like this, there are a few disciplines, which are waiting to be, coordinated. And so if anybody is interested in a particular area, you can come forward and we see how we can link you up. For example, Prabhat Sangeet, there's so much interest all over the world in Prabhat Sangeet. And Tattva Vedananji, Baba gave him the duty as the Vidya Pratinidhi of Fine Arts and Music faculty. And now he's based in Anand Nagar. And he has a beautiful studio as well as a whole campus for this Prabhat Sangeet. And so we had a meeting a few months ago, and I think he'll be joining, on Tuesday evening for a conference call with us. But, Akanksha or Ayesha, she has interest in Prabhat Sangeet. She's already giving classes, online classes on Prabhat Sangeet. Ashok's wife, Preeti Lata in Germany, she wants to teach Prabhat Sangeet. She's making a whole studio for that. They are renovating their whole house. So we discussed that maybe early next year, we'll inaugurate that Prabhat Sangeet again. I also discussed with Aisha that we should really give it an institutional, put it in an institutional framework. So we have, Boston Prabha Academy or Gurukul Prabha Academy in Boston or wherever she is, so that way, there can be a group of people who are interested in that particular subject. There are many psychologists within the Marga. Raghuvira is interested, Vishwamitra is there, and there are probably many other psychologists all over the world. So we create a team of people for that particular faculty, and they can discuss, and sometimes they can hold a conference on biopsychology, led by this particular faculty. And people would come and learn new things. And I think since they are the experts in that field, they can best organize, those things. So far, only we have been focusing on K-12 with the leadership of, Kathleen and Arati and Vishala and many other people who have Marcus Percy and, Eric Jacobson, Rekha, all these people who have contributed to our Neohumanist Education Accreditation Council. We'll hear more about it tomorrow. So I think there's wide scope within Gurukul for people of whatever area and expertise they're interested in to link up with us. And I think, I hope that that is one of the purposes of this gathering, that we, interact among ourselves and see how we can contribute. So I think that's all I was supposed to introduce. Thank you. Oh, one more thing I think is the Neohumanist review. This is very important, because this is the purpose was that since the people are spread out all over the world, our Mahasamiti members, and so how to bring them all together to have dialogue. So we thought, let us create a voice of Mahasamiti, and we called it the Journal of Neohumanist Review. And fortunately, Craig, he could not come. Chandrasekhar in Florida, his wife was unwell, so he could not come here. But he and Prabhakar Trond Overland from Norway, was based in Sweden. He has been helping me, and he took on he cannot be present today, or he's also busy in Malmo at the moment. But with his effort, we have created, with the participation of all the people. Carlos, your name is there in the board of editors. Kathleen, your name is there in the board of editors, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
You just saw that.
I thought it was there. Yeah, it is there. Okay, so I can read out who are the editor-in-chief is myself, associate editors Arati Prim, Rodrigo Bazua Lobato. He has gone to Mexico. He has been appointed. He finished his PhD, his MD, and he has gone to Mexico, and he has taken over he will be directing the entire public health of Mexico. Nice. So young man, very dynamic. And so he is also one of our associate editors. And then we have some copy editors, Dr. Murray Ellison, Deepali Shrivastava, executive directors, Craig Runde, Trond Overland. Prabhakar is the main one actually who put it all together. And we have some people in the marketing for social marketing, one girl from Finland, and also Raksha Mohan has also joined. She's also going to assist. In the editorial board, we have Ivana Milojevic, Michael Tausi, Advaita Rajendran from India, Uttampati from India, Didi Ananda Devapriya, Sucharit Katyal he's in Denmark, Gisele Juan Duago, she is in France, Hans Joachim Rudolph, he's in Germany, Kathleen Kesson in USA, Sid Jordan, USA, Aish Irani, USA, Ed McKenna, USA, Didi Ananda Rama, Globetrotter, Roar Beyonds Ramesh, he's here also, he's on the board. Sohail Inayatullah, Marco Oliviere, Marcos Bossi, and Carlos Torre. So these are some of the people who have said that they will help in this venture. I think we have a good team of people, and everybody is contributing. Our next issue is going to come out in March, and the work is in process for that. And then, so we have to always stay ahead of the game. So because time passes very quickly. So I would like that at least all the people who are interested, they should subscribe to this magazine so that we can make sure that, it gets to you wherever you are. Mailing is expensive, but still we are interested that at least you should be receive this. Yeah.
Will you have an online version also?
It's already there, online version. If you go to the newhumanist.com, there the online version is there. But you can also subscribe for online. This one is free online, but we will, for the future issues, people will need to subscribe. $5, something very little we have kept, for online subscription. And for the print copies also, they can be mailed. So thank you very much for your support, and I hope we can take it further.